The Zelithy Empire's pride and joy, the dreadnought inevitable victory, hung dead in space. Its massive engines, capable of folding space-time itself, sat silent. Every system from life support to weapons had failed simultaneously, leaving 30,000 of the galaxy's most feared warriors floating helplessly in a metal tomb. And it was all because of one very angry human. Engineer First Class James Mitchell floated through the maintenance tunnels, a wrench in one hand and a satisfied grin on his face. 3 days ago, the Zelithy had destroyed the mining station he'd called home for 5 years, killed 300 humans, including his daughter Emma, who'd been visiting during her university break. The Zelithy called it pest control. James called it a mistake. Status report. Admiral Crickstan's mandibles clicked frantically on the bridge. His 6 eyes darted between dead displays while emergency lights cast eerie shadows across his chitinous features. How can one primitive mammal disable our entire fleet? Sir, his tactical officer whispered. It's not just us. Every ship in the Armada is dead. 47 vessels, all broken. The Admiral's compound eyes widened. The Zelithy were the galaxy's apex civilization, their technology so advanced that other species worshipped them as gods. Their ships were masterpieces of engineering, with quadruple redundancies and security systems that would make Fort Knox look like a paper bag. But they'd never faced a pissed-off human engineer before. Deep in the ship's bowels, James whistled while he worked. The Zelithy's fatal flaw wasn't their arrogance. It was their standardization. Every ship in their fleet used the same systems, the same protocols, the same maintenance ports that they never bothered to secure because who would dare touch the technology of gods? A human would. Especially one who'd spent 30 years keeping rickety mining equipment running with duct tape and prayer. You know what your problem is? James muttered to the unconscious Zelithy technician he'd found earlier. You've never had to fix something with bubble gum and good intentions. Never had to bypass a safety protocol because corporate won't spring for new parts. You build everything perfect, which means you never learn to improvise. He'd started 3 weeks ago, the day after Emma's funeral. Took a maintenance job on the fleet's supply ship. The Zelithy didn't even look at him. Why would they notice one more primitive mammal cleaning their floors? But James wasn't cleaning. He was learning. Every system had backdoors if you knew where to look. Every protocol had exceptions. And every Zelithy ship in the Armada connected to the same maintenance network for efficiency. Efficiency. James almost laughed. In human engineering, efficiency was whatever kept the machines running and the bills paid. But to the Zelithy, efficiency meant uniformity. One update pushed to every ship. One command structure. One catastrophic point of failure. The virus he'd written wasn't sophisticated by Zelithy standards. Hell, it wasn't even sophisticated by human standards. But it didn't need to be. All it had to do was convince the ship systems that they were undergoing routine maintenance. All of them, at the same time. Every safety protocol disabled. Every backup system put in sleep mode. Every redundancy told to wait its turn. Then James had introduced the ships to a human concept the Zelithy had never encountered. Cascade failure. Admiral, a junior officer stumbled onto the bridge, antennae quivering with fear. We found him, the human. He's in maintenance shaft 7. Send security. Send everyone. But the doors wouldn't open. The elevators wouldn't move. The proud warriors of the Zelithy Empire, who had conquered 1,000 worlds, couldn't navigate their own ship because one angry engineer had convinced their perfect systems to take a coffee break. James emerged onto the bridge through a manual access hatch, still carrying his wrench. 30 Zelithy warriors, bred for combat, genetically enhanced for strength and speed, all stared at a slightly overweight 50-year-old human covered in grease. Evening, folks, James said pleasantly. Name's Mitchell. You killed my daughter. Impossible, Crickstan breathed. One human cannot. Cannot what? Cannot read your technical manuals? Cannot notice you use the same login credentials on every system? Cannot realize your entire fleet runs on Windows Vista? James shook his head. You called us pests. But you know what's funny about pests? We're really good at getting into places we're not supposed to be. He pulled out a small communicator, Emma's, still cracked from the station explosion. My daughter was 22, studying to be a xenobiologist. She wanted to find ways for our species to communicate better. James pressed a button. Throughout the fleet, every reactor began a cascading overload. So here's my message. Humanity doesn't need weapons or fleets. We just need a reason. And you gave me 47,000 reasons to show you why they call us the engineers of chaos. As escape pods began launching, carrying the Zelithy Armada's survivors away from their dying ships, a legend spread through the galaxy. Never leave a human engineer alone with your technology, especially if you've made him angry.